The Jake Guentzel trade is finally official. He is now a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Penguins have gotten back several assets. We'll break down this trade and discuss the future of both clubs after it, coming up next. Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned earlier, we had rumors that the Jake Guentzel trade was going to be going down later on this evening after the games were completed. Both Carolina and Pittsburgh ended up having games tonight, and of course we're in heavy, intense discussions earlier, and they kind of had to put things off until after the games were completed. The trade call has just been completed here in the last little bit with the NHL, and we now have the full picture. So Jake Guentzel goes from Pittsburgh to Carolina with 25% of his salary retained. Also going with him is young defenseman Ty Smith, who the Penguins had picked up from the Devils previously in the Marino deal. So Guentzel with 25% retained and Smith going to the Canes. In exchange, they get a roster player. Obviously, we know Michael Bunting. He was rumored to be in this deal, and he in fact is. So, of course, Bunting in the first year of a 3-year free agent contract he signed with the Hurricanes. Obviously, will get probably a bigger role with Pittsburgh, or at least a chance to. Obviously, he and Dubas are quite familiar with each other from their time in Toronto. The Penguins also get 3 prospects and potentially 2 draft picks. So the breakdown here is you get 1 prospect being Ville Koivunen. Koivunen is a 20-year-old right winger from Finland. He was a 2021 second-round pick. From what I can tell, I haven't seen him play here in a while, but I know based on his stats, looks like he's having a really good season over in Liga. So clearly a pretty promising offensive winger in Ville Koivunen. The next prospect is Vasily Ponomarev. He is a Russian-born player, 21 years old, centerman. He was a second-round pick in 2020. He came over and he's playing in the American Hockey League this year. He has, I believe, played a couple games for the Hurricanes at the NHL level, but overall his American Hockey League stats look pretty good. So a couple of solid looking forward prospects there. And they also get Cruz Lucius. Now, Lucius is unsigned. He is playing U.S. college hockey right now at the University of Wisconsin. He was drafted in 2022 in a 4th round selection. He's a right winger, American-born player. So they get another interesting player there. I mean, obviously some prospects that I think a lot of Pens fans were probably hoping for, Nikishin or Morrow, were not included here. No huge surprise. We knew the Canes were not real crazy about parting ways with them, even though I suspect Dubas had every right to ask and was very interested in them. But here we are. These prospects do look decent. Hopefully they'll be part of the foundation to get this things turned around in Pittsburgh. Now, there's also 2 picks here. It's not a guarantee they get 2. There is conditions. Now, there's a 2024 conditional first-round pick. The condition on that pick is that if the Hurricanes do not make the Stanley Cup final this year in 2024, then the pick is downgraded, and the Penguins get a second-round pick, which they currently hold possession of, that originally belonged to the Philadelphia Flyers. So they may not get a first-round pick out of this, but they do have 3 prospects and a roster player. So if the Hurricanes win the Eastern Conference, go to the final, doesn't matter if they win or not. If they make it, Penguins get a first-rounder. Otherwise, it goes to a second-rounder. And there's also a 2024 conditional 5th-round pick, and essentially that one is if the Carolina Hurricanes win the Cup, the Penguins get the pick. If they do not win the Cup, no pick is transferred. So they may get a roster player, 3 prospects, a 1st and a 5th, or they could get a roster player, 3 prospects, in a 2nd. Overall, though, I mean, I know they didn't get the absolute top of the prospect pool in Carolina, but they did get some very, I think, useful, interesting prospects here. So clearly, based on what was being offered from other clubs, this was, you would think, the best deal, because, I mean, obviously Dubas is going to get as much back as he can. So hopefully this will kind of lay the foundation here to get some players into Pittsburgh that can help get the ship righted here. So we'll see. Obviously, these prospects are, like I said, they look good. I can't say that I'm an expert on any of them, but I mean, I've certainly seen some of them play a few times. They do look interesting, like they could have a future. So hopefully the things pan out. If they do pan out to be good players for the Penguins long term, even if they're not necessarily first-line players, if they can play top 6, top 9 role, and you get 2 or 3 players out of this and another pick or 2, I mean, in this kind of trade, it's kind of the best you can hope for. It's really tough to win a trade when you're trading the best player in the deal. So at the end of the day, Gensel's no longer a Penguin. He goes off to Carolina, and hopefully they have their goal-scoring winger that they've been missing as they've come close numerous times in the last 3-4 years of getting all the way to winning the Eastern Conference. Not going to be easy, but they're certainly an improved team because of it. They also got Freddie Anderson back, so they're hoping that he will be ready to go for playoffs and be a stud for them too. So let me know your thoughts on the Guentzel trade down in the comments. We'll discuss further. There could be more videos coming. I believe there's another trade as well, which I haven't reported on yet, which I'll do separately here. So thanks for watching. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe and stick around so you don't miss anything for the NHL trade deadline 2024. And I'll catch you next time.